Welcome to the PLL on ESPN, presented by Whirlpool. And welcome back to the Charm City on the campus of Johns Hopkins University, Homewood Field, the site of our second leg of today's doubleheader. It's a Western Conference showdown. Rob Pennell and the California Redwoods against Brennan O'Neill and the Denver Outlaws. This one means a bunch for both these teams as we enter August. Every game is so crucial, of course, but for the Redwoods, last place in the West with the worst score differential on the season. Every win is critical as the Redwoods take on the Outlaws today. Excited to watch this one with you. Welcome to a sticky and sweaty Homewood Field. Drew Carter, Paul Carcaterra, Ryan Boyle up here in the booth. Quint Kessenich down on the field as well.
And Garnsey, the lefty.
We finally saw Garnsey last week in San Diego. It was like, I'm back. Need to see more of that Garnsey flair and creativity.
Two of the best collegiate face-off men ever in T.D. Erlin and Luke Weirman, locking horns at the stripe, and Erlin, the veteran, gets the better of the rookie on the opening draw. Redwoods come in 2-5, fourth place in the West, off a loss to the Whipsnakes 18-13 in their second game last week in San Diego on their homecoming weekend after they beat the Chaos the day before.
Good defense by JT Giles Harris leads to that goal.
Full
by Ryan
field action. Outlaws turning defense to offense to start.
Well, JT Giles Harris does a phenomenal job of shutting down Pennell on that possession.
He pulls the chair.
Yes.
He pulls the chair on him. You can see Pennell lean in here, and Giles Harris just kind of gives ground. And then off that turnover, Outlaws are up and running. Tarafinko does a great job of crashing the crease. So if you're that lead man on a break, run to the crease.
Yep.
And what's going to happen is either they cover you, freeing up guys at the perimeter, or if they leave you by yourself, now you have a shot on the crease.
Giles Harris in Minneapolis a few weeks back. We were both there. He held Rob Pennell 0 for 8 shooting.
That was Rob Pennell's first pointless game in like 10 years. It's the second of his professional career. By the way, Will Hawes gets the assist in transition, his first point of the season. Nakai Montgomery, two-pointer will not go. Nakai back in the lineup after he did not play last weekend in that doubleheader. So for the Denver Outlaws, like you mentioned, RB, with O'Neill, it's been a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde act at times this year. But they come into this one at 500, 3-3 after when they were the Chrome last year, they were easily the worst team in the league. O'Neill for two, bounces it wide.
But what I like in the last 2 weeks is he's inserted himself in the game early. He's not waiting, letting the game come to him. Right there, you saw that nice little two-man with Bundy. Fire from two. Be aggressive early in the game.
I think that's critical. Watching him in college, when he had success early, he went nuclear. You know that. You covered him a ton, Drew. If you held him in check late into games, sometimes he would disappear.
That was Hanley who caught some iron. He's got it back here off the restart, matched up with Isaiah Davis-Allen, who's back in the lineup. Advantage, Hanley. Left hand, top shelf smoke.
This is huge for Sam Hanley. His last 3 games, 1 for 10 shooting with 0 assists. 1.3 games. Sam Hanley, 6'5", two-handed, gets in and then just shoots once. Isaiah Davis-Allen just lets up for 1 second here. He just lets him breathe for a second. He gets his hands free.
I'm going to go a step further, Clark. I think Hanley has something to prove to his teammates. And last week, they're down 2 with the game trailing, and he inexplicably throws the ball inside when they needed a 2 to tie it. I think he has something to prove to his teammates today.
Sam Hanley showing great energy early, and a big hug from Coach Tim Sudan and Sam Hanley. What was that about?
We've had a couple conversations over the last weeks. His confidence been down, and just tell him how much we need him to play well. And I was like, get one early.
He can be an elite player in this league.
He can be an elite player. Yeah. He just gets caught up into trying to do the right thing, and like, you know what I mean? He thinks too much.
Big start for the Outlaws. Big start for the Outlaws. Coach Sudan will have to watch that one up on the monitor.
3 goals in the first 2 minutes. That's Eric Law finishing it off.
The adult in the room gets it done, Boyle.
Yeah, just breakdown defensively here for Redwoods. You're going to see Zawada get caught up. So now on a short stick, and as he goes to the goal, you can see his head up, Freeze it right as he goes to slide. Here's the first slide. Here's the double team. Here comes Fake. Where's the second double team to get back to the other crease offensive player? So Fake goes, and then there's no second slide. So Law is left all by himself, given the point like, yeah, that's all you. Cohen gets kind of trapped between two guys there.
I think Cohen thinks the top defender is going to come down and pinch as well. That didn't happen. Eric Law is so good off the ball. Like, it's the subtle 2 steps here, 2 steps there, because you get a defense to think, okay, we have him, and then he moves at the right time. It's the instincts of a KG vet.
33-year-old playing with a couple rookies on the attack line, including Josh Sawada, who misses wide. Here's my question for you guys.
Redwoods better wake up.
How is Eric Law available?
Well, when you're looking at the Atlas specifically, he got a little banged up in training camp, and then they just go on a tear, right? Because they move Dixon to attack. You got Schellenberger, he's playing, right? You got Teat, he's obviously still playing. He's obviously playing.
Brennan O'Neill.
Redwoods need a timeout here. They're not awake.
All Outlaws to start. O'Neill's on the board.
Something was done in the pregame speech by Coach Tim Sudan, and it might not have been to the whole group, was pointing out guys like Sam Hanley, like Brennan O'Neill. Take over this game, you're too good. And it's the range and his ability to get to the middle of the field here on Conlon, a guy who guarded him successfully this college season, Notre Dame Duke. On that one, though, too much O'Neill, Quint.
He is sprinkled in the bounce shot this summer as a changeup more often than not, but this is the good version of the Denver Outlaws. This is them at their peak when they are a playoff and championship contender. We saw it last week in San Diego for the first half only. When Jesse Bernhardt, their defensive leader and captain, got hurt, they lost something spiritually and they lost something tactically. Right now the route is on with Justin Anderson from about 13 yards.
You needed to call timeout before this game
Outside
got away.
yard. They're giving him a 2.
Yeah.
He lost his lid in the process. 6 love, Denver.
And when it rains, it pours. Because Jack Kelly's the second best player at his position against 2-pointers. He's saving 82%. Only Colin Kurtz of the Boston Cannons is better. This time, Anderson, a little giddy up, solves Kelly from deep.
Redwoods want a timeout.
They need it. They're not playing with any juice, any energy, and we.
Eric Law, he's got a goal, 6 points in the first 2 minutes and 44 seconds for the Outlaws, who have gotten goals from 5 different players, including Justin Anderson, who just hit a 2. Look at the touches. 26-4 in favor of Denver. The Redwoods have barely even had the ball on this side of the field. What do you want to see from them offensively, Carr?
We're going to need the ball to go on Pennell's stick. The problem is he's going against JT Giles Harris, who's playing like JT Giles Harris from 2 years ago when he was Defender of the Year.
The tough part is then you say, okay, well, go set a pick for him. Giles Harris does a masterful job of working through those to maintain his matchup.
Pennell just has to dump it, take the shot clock violation.
Elaborate a little bit there. I know what you're saying, but for the people at home, like, what makes a great defender pick-proof?
Anticipating it, so communication from your teammates, and then at that moment deciding, do I need to ball pressure so I can get above and around this pick, or do I need to give leverage, give some space to get under and through the pick? And that decision-making is critical.
You kind of sound like Tom Thibodeau right now. You know, ice the ball screen. Got a broken stick. Zawada made a cut. Here comes Cross Farrar out of the box.
Yeah, it's Montgomery with the broken stick, and the PLL still can play with a broken stick.
You see one in green. There's O'Neill trying to go to the scoop shot.
Jeez Louise, he got some serious velocity
That was
on that
Connor
shot.
Fields-esque.
One-handed. Did our gun catch the speed? That thing was moving.
That was with his offhand, too.
You know, it's interesting when you think about offhand, too. A lot of these two-handed players, right, like an O'Neill and a lot of the Canadians, their bottom hand is actually their strong hand,
yeah.
right? And they use that backhand. A lot of American players, that's not the case. Like I'm a right-handed American player. My bottom hand is not my strong hand, my left. But some of these two-handed players, the hockey players, the Brennan O'Neills who have always played that two-handed game, their bottom hand is their strong hand. Like Brennan O'Neill probably writes right-handed, if I had to guess.
Kind of like LeBron writes left-handed, but shoots right-handed.
Gary Gates, a righty in life, a lefty in lacrosse.
And Pennell can't handle the pass. Shots are 10-2 in favor of Denver right now. Another scrum forward, Chris Gray, couldn't scoop it. Neither could Ryder Garnsey. Dennis ends up with it, but that's over and back. 4 turnovers for the Redwoods already.
And Denver's just playing with more energy. They're playing with more juice right now. I think back to your earlier question about what they need to do offensively, they need to get their midfielders involved. They need to get Cole Kirst, Romar Dennis, like they need, and Charlie Bertrand, those guys need to be more involved. We saw a glimpse of that last week in San Diego with Dennis and Kirst having big games specifically.
Yeah, Kirst a hat trick in their last game against Maryland. Dennis with 3 2-pointers across the 2 games. California stuck on 0 here. Looks a lot like what happened to Philadelphia in the first game against Maryland. Here's Justin Anderson. He's already scored from long range. They move it. Ferrara, low angle.
They had one more to Zawada, a long goal line extended.
Arden Cohen ate that, hit him in the shin as he limps it off behind the
Draws
play.
a delayed penalty against the Outlaws.
Here's the bad news for the Redwoods. They have a power play coming, worst in the league.
It's the announcer jinx right there. They're
Well,
going to score on
Denver's
that power play.
I hope so.
Denver's penalty kills also last, so we got weakness on weakness.
Stay tuned.
Wow, Manley wants nothing to do with Cole Kirst there.
Yeah, Michael Manley, the veteran.
Just made the rest on the sideline. Put that ball carrier in custody.
Outlaw fouls number 15, 1 minute, slash.
Hey, Kark, how about a Romar 2 here?
We'll see
Will
when we get back, won't we, Drew?
They're going to hunt that 2 on the power play as Eric Laws sits for a minute. California looking for their first goal.
High school highlight tape in terms of creativity and just jaw-dropping plays. Ryder Garnsey, just YouTube it. Have some fun.
Who's that? The long pole Walker? He had a nasty highlight reel in high school. Gray for 2 catches the pipe. Backed up by Romar Dennis and the Redwoods. That could have gotten him going. This is the worst power play in the league statistically, 25% for California against the worst penalty kill at 46% for Denver. Something's got to give. Chris Gray operating top of the key. Bertrand spins it. Now Pennell at X. Half the power play is gone. Law sitting for a minute. Keep your eye on Dennis. Big number 5 can really rip it. Pennell batted it away from the goalie, Owen McElroy. Under 15 seconds now on the power play. There goes Jake Piscino, and this could be danger for California. Piscino starting the break. And the penalty will expire in 5 seconds.
And I think, like, when you look at that Redwoods power play unit, like, the pieces make sense, right? In terms of where guys are. That's the tough part about it.
Passer up top in Gray, passer behind in Pennell, wing shooters, right? You have Romar up top, forcing them to play you behind the arc.
Berg on the crease.
Yes. Best finisher in the game, statistically. You're absolutely right.
Here's big Brennan O'Neill. Loves to sweep to that left hand. Missed it wide.
To Quint's point, too, he likes that bounce shot. That's more of his typical low bouncer. I'm seeing a lot more of the high bouncers as a pro now.
It's turf here at Homewood Field. Seen a couple of bouncers already. There's O'Neill on the rollback. Gets back to the left and catches iron. Bundy, oh man, he can rip it with that sidewinder shot.
If you're Chris Conlon, be careful when you go over the head on the big boy.
That was 102 on the rebound shot by Bundy.
What I love about that is, like, they're shorting Eric Law, and like most legendary players would take offense to that and make it about my matchup. He's like, no, we're just going to keep riding Brennan O'Neill as Cross Ferrara, backhanders. Incredible individual effort here by Ferrara.
Cross Ferrara just loves when Cark's in the booth, dating back to last year when he was a rookie.
Well, it's a nice pick there by Young. It doesn't necessarily make contact with Fake, but it changes the angle.
That's a great
it's
shot.
left-handed. I thought it was backhanded
No,
at
that
first.
is a tremendous shot by Cross Ferrara as he comes above goal line extended. You know what I love about that shot? He stops his release. He doesn't follow through the entire way. If you follow through the entire way, you're shooting near pipe, and that's where Kelly's occupying the entire goal. He kind of stops his follow-through so he could get to that far pipe.
One of the things we love about the PLL, a guy from Salisbury just beat a guy from Notre Dame. It's 7-0 Denver. No saves for Jack Kelly. 7 goals allowed. Erlin off the faceoff. Can't connect with a goal.
I think with Cross Ferrara, you really got to credit Tim Sudan in terms of sticking with him. Like, he was kind of going through a little bit of a slump. Confidence was down, and he just stuck with him. And just like, you're trying to make too much happen. You're basically playing not to lose, making turnovers.
How about Ryder Garnsey? First goal in style for California. Ryder Garnsey. Turn and shoot.
We talked about him in high school. He has one of the best mixed tapes you'll ever see, but functionally, too, he does all the little things. There's structure to his game. Coming up, approaching the ball, and he shoots that basically with all his wrists and his hips, right? He didn't catch that ball, plant and rip. He let that ball fly, Drew, all in one motion. It was a catch kind of off his back foot, and he hammered it.
That was the first shot for either Rob Pennell or Ryder Garnsey in the game. Almost 10 minutes in. That's how they get their first goal. So they're doing a little bit better than Philly in terms of when they get their first. Water Dogs went down 11-0. Redwoods went down 7-0.
This lead's letting Owen McElroy in goal breathe a little bit because he had a rough outing last time out to Boston. Only 6 saves at 37%.
Garnsey tried it again. Manley got a piece, and now those two guys are going at it. Maybe the most predictable scrap of the entire weekend, Manley and Garnsey. Here comes Terefenko. He scored once already. Set it up on the wing, and the shot whistles wide.
They're still yakking.
Yeah, just keep your eye on 50 in green and 5 in white.
I always say the guy with the long pole always has the last word.
Great ball movement. Terefenko stuffed. Kelly with his first save.
I mean, Garnsey's kind of always the guy that gets under your skin.
Yep,
they're gonna get Manley.
He's an instigator.
I know, Manley. Manley's gonna get caught here. He did.
Garnsey does a great job at getting under people's skin. Are they gonna ding both of them?
Yeah, they should.
I'm watching that while the ball's on the other end.
1 minute each way. Ball doesn't change. Ball doesn't change. Hey, Swede.
There's going to be round 2 of this.
We were heading up with the ball, right? We were heading up with the ball. Heading up with the ball. 2. Yeah. So 50 and 5. Two fouls on the play. 2 fouls on the play. 5 for the Outlaws, 50 for the Redwoods, both 1 minute, unsportsmanlike conduct, full-time serve. The ball stays with the Redwoods, the shot clock is unchanged.
Mike.
We're watching the replay. Q, get Mike's opinion of this. I know you're with him.
Yeah. He threw an elbow, you didn't like it?
It's just hard-nosed lacrosse, that's all. We'll keep going back and forth, it's fine.
Is it difficult playing a player who tries to get under your skin the way he does?
Not at all.
No.
No, not one bit.
How do you deal with it?
I've been dealing with my whole career.
36-year-old Mike Manley. Not bothered. Law lost it. And Zawada stabs it out of the air.
O'Neal's got a short stick.
Yeah. Oh, it's a pole goal. Greg Weil in for the injured Bernhardt, and Weil strokes it.
This Denver team's playing with some pace. I mean, Weil, this is his first game since 2022. Just stays on. Just a ton of confidence. You can see Gray was trapped on defense. He throws that one-handed wrap check to get Weil off the 2-point line, but doesn't really stay with the play.
He's feeling it. That is a hard shot to track, and credit Weil. 2018 grad from Mercyhurst, a bit of a journeyman, making the most of an opportunity that you mentioned. Subbing for Jesse Bernhardt's been their anchor of the defense. Weil hammering it.
It's his first goal since 2021 when he was playing with the then Chrome.
Tim Sudan is familiar with him, both from the Rochester area. He knows that he's a reliable force in there.
And Bertrand trying to make something happen. Pinnell's got the backup.
You talk about guys who are no strangers to the gym. That's wild. 6 years out of college right now.
What a finish. RB3.
Well, I was crediting Giles Harris' pick game earlier, so naturally Pinnell denies it. You can see him act like he's gonna use the pick. He rolls right at the point of contact, and that allows him to gain leverage, actually shoot through a Giles Harris lift. So Giles Harris gets back to it, gets a lift on, and the first ballot Hall of Famer just has got too many tricks up his sleeve.
Look, that looked simple. The level of difficulty there with his wrist strength and his awareness where he is in front of the goal, that is a high-level finish by Rob Pinnell.
Yes. It is offhand, and if you're JT, you're going to play those percentages. You're going to funnel Rob up that left side as much as you can. Your point, Ryan, about the lift. I mean, it was a great recovery by JT, and somehow Pinnell shot through it.
Erlin on the roll. 10 seconds left in the first quarter. That's Ryan Tierney wearing 13 in green. Now Pinnell got to get something off. Garnsey, that shot would have counted. McElroy with the save. That's his third of the first quarter. And his Denver Outlaws lead 8-2 after 12 minutes. But you never know which Outlaws team is going to show up. The good version is here today. On top by 6 after 1 quarter as they look to move above 500 as we enter the home stretch of the PLL season.
Absolutely, and he's a walking masterclass in terms of how he's mastered the technique of the attack position. It's the subtle type of movements above goal line extended. When I think of the 5-and-5 area, 5 yards out, 5 yards up, the first person I think of is Rob Pinnell. I just think he's put a signature in terms of what he's able to do above goal line extended with all the counter moves, the question marks. Now he's got the Canadian egg roll.
I thought it was a chicken parm roll.
He likes the chicken parm roll like me, but we're going to give it respect.
New goalie for Redwoods is Chase Erlin, the rookie, who finished his college career here at Johns Hopkins after he started at Cornell. Can't stop that from Justin Anderson. His second goal today, first from inside the arc, and the Outlaws' onslaught continues.
Well, it's tough for a goaltender to be asked to step in without a real warm-up, right? It's 110 degrees probably on the turf. It doesn't matter. He wasn't seeing his shots right before action. Played at Cornell for Pete Milliman. Spent his last grad transfer year at Hopkins, and now he's seeing some PLL smoke. Justin Anderson hit a 2-ball earlier, now just a traditional cut. On the right-handed Erlin, just too much, too soon for Chase.
And when you look to make a goalie change, usually it's one of two factors. It's either performance or kind of momentum, like, hey, a wake-up call. You look at that first quarter, Kelly just one save, so both really are applicable here.
Erlin's all over the field for the Redwoods. TD taking the face-off, had his shot saved by Owen McElroy.
Chase was the second goaltender picked in the PLL draft. Only Liam Entenmann picked before him. Had a monster grad year here for the Blue Jays. Played in a national championship game for Cornell in 2022. Certainly has the experience and maturity.
Here's Romar Dennis. Had the step, Great recovery defensively for Denver. That was Will Hawes with the short stick who came over the top. Pizzino trying to track it down. In and out of his stick. Arden Cohen on top of it. Now Chris Conlon comes away with it. And the rookie out of Notre Dame, the lefty Chris Conlon, gets it ahead to Ryder Garnsey. That's the first turnover of the day for the Outlaws. They've taken 21 shots before their first giveaway.
And they're offside, so it'll be a turnover. I'm sure Conlon's going to say to the guards, why'd you throw that back to me?
That facial expression says it all.
Manly.
You see Nat St. Laurent there? You see his body language.
Exasperated.
Yeah.
Here's a rookie, Graham Bundy Jr., one of several rookies who starts on this Denver offense. Gets it back to Brennan O'Neill. After the pump fake, Hanley, foot inside the arc. That is a rocket.
Smoke, Drew.
95. Top shutter.
Kark, I'll give you the shot in a second. What I want to highlight is O'Neill the feeder.
Yep.
Because the book on him is once he gets going, he's not really a guy that looks to feed the ball. There, he draws the double team after a rotation, and as he's fallen to the ground, has the wherewithal to get it back to Hanley, who brings the heat from deep.
That's a great call out, and I love where he's dodging there because you know they have to go adjacent there. So if he's willing to draw that double, if he's willing to take the hit, there will be a player porched up, ready to hammer, and it's Sam Hanley who's woken up. Playing some huge lacrosse here down in Baltimore.
He, I'm telling you, has something to prove today based off last week.
Weirman wins the face-off right down Charles Street. 11-2 Denver. The former Maryland Terrapin does it himself.
You knew he wasn't necessarily going to go toe-to-toe with Erlin today, but you knew he was going to have an opportunity to bury one. So he's not going to maybe win the war here, but he's going to win this battle. The offensive exit, you've got to respect him. You've got to know your scout. Weirman is a legit threat off of a face-off win. Yeah, this is his third goal of the season.
Eric, it's Kark up in the booth. What makes this rookie class with O'Neill with the prior assist and then Weirman with the goal so special for the Outlaws?
They're just so young and hungry. These guys are so dang talented. It's unbelievable. Every guy can do a little bit of everything. They can stretch. And each week you can start to see they're getting more and more comfortable and their IQs is starting to get better and better.
Thank you, Eric.
That's Cash App powering the athletes under the helmet. Eric Laws on the board. Luke Weirman now his third goal of his rookie season. Denver shooting more than twice as frequently as California in this first half. Again, a pure beatdown.
Consistency. That's what you're seeing today from Denver.
I mean, honestly, they could have more, too. I mean, they've had a few fast break opportunities where Zawada's missed wide of the cage.
Dalton Young bumped off his spot. Young, by the way, another rookie wearing number 11. Hanley, just too big. Took him to the weight room.
This is the Sam Hanley, this game, this first half. This is the Sam Hanley that we've all wanted since he got drafted. Since we all thought that he could be the first pick overall. This is a huge head of steam coming from the box, and it's just brute force. I'm just bigger and more physical than you.
Sam Hanley has 3 goals in this half, and Drew, he's heightened the expectation moving forward in this season because now we know what he's capable of doing.
This is what we've always thought he could do.
He's big, he's two-handed, and we're seeing goals here. In college, he was a quarterback for the Penn Quakers from up top feeding the ball. So now you're going to see when teams start to slide from him, he's going to start dealing.
Hanley with.
And you got O'Neill and Hanley. Like, think about that. Both guys who can just run through double teams like they're not there. It's scary stuff.
Going out there
really
with 2 fullbacks.
Whatever Tim Soudan told Sam Hanley worked.
Well, I was at practice last week, and Hanley rolled in late from L.A., hit some traffic on the way to practice, and missed every shot and threw the ball out of bounds a couple times. And didn't play great the next day. I just think it's a time thing. It's a commitment thing.
He's got his first hat trick of the season. There are 2 flags down. Pennell can't finish on McElroy.
Pennell got robbed.
Because Drew and guys, when Sam Handley, as you're seeing it today, when he's activated,
Who's
and
it
his
on?
intention is to be the
57,
best,
57.
he can be.
Quinn, I'm going to come back to you after we get this
Yeah, we'll
penalty
go to-
call.
No, not till 7. Outlaws foul number 57, 1 minute slash.
It wasn't just that he played poorly, Quinn. It was the fact that when the game was on the line and they're down 2, and you have to have a 2, he wasn't aware of the situation. He didn't know clock, score, situation, and timeouts. Those are what you always have to have in your head as a player, and he didn't have it. And to your point, if that's your performance in practice and then you come out and play that egg of a game and end it that way, you've got something to prove.
You can't turn on a switch just in a game. It doesn't work that way. The preparation, it's more than just showing up and playing. It's attention to detail. It's all the little things. Today, he's dialed.
The call was a 1 minute slash against Denver. Power play for California. Bertrand stopped by McElroy, and then he clamps it.
And McElroy's been his normal self today too. Drew, you talked about his struggles last week. He was dreadful in the second half. Scanoni had to come in off the pipes, but Owens locked in today, moving his feet, seeing the rock, controlling his rebounds.
Terafenko clearing it. That looked like the gold medal game against Canada a few years ago. Power play about to expire for California. Back to even strength as it has been all Denver. Cross Ferrara down the alley. Keeps it against Chris Merle with a short stick matchup. Here's Josh Zawada playing a little hangman. Outside Bundy for 2. Chase Erlin's got his first save after he came in at the start of the second quarter.
That's a big save by Erlin just to settle the nerves.
And looking at Bundy staring you down.
Yeah.
Bundy struggled last week as well, 1 for 9 shooting.
Merle playing offense. Here's Kirst, coming off a hat trick in that second game in San Diego. Weil switches onto him. This could be like 2 trucks colliding. Weil working around the pick. Kirst still has it, 10 to shoot. It has been in his cross for a while. Merle takes the shot. A jumper from a D-Midi at the end of the shot clock, and it's Outlaws ball.
And credit Bundy. They trap the offensive midfielder back on defense. They try to go at him early and then get him involved in a 2-man game, and he didn't sit back and take it passively. He stepped out and made contact through a physical, hard check. Like, you're still an athlete. Like, be an athlete on defense. Like, sometimes these offensive midfielders just forget how to play.
And he comes off the field talking smack the whole way to Merle.
That I'm not surprised by. Law gets it back to Anderson. Top corner, stamps it. It's a hat trick for Justin Anderson with a 2-pointer in there. And Denver continues to dominate.
He's feeling it. 21 in white. Dual threat midfielder. Today it's all about filling up the net. Takes Montgomery top side. The Redwoods are hurting. There's no California dreaming in Baltimore. Denver's rolling.
All plans coordinated through the Navy SEAL Foundation, who along with the Green Beret Foundation has partnered with the PLL on the upcoming Stars and Stripes Classic. And speaking of, it's the Berets against the SEALs. The exhibition played prior to the PLL's quarterfinal playoff round on Labor Day, September 2nd at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Visit PLLquarters.com to claim your ticket for all 3 games happening on Labor Day. Tickets for military personnel, free of charge, and a portion of ticket sales and merchandise sales benefit the Green Beret Foundation and the Navy SEAL Foundation. Than 100 degrees down there, temperature in the high 80s, and right now the Denver Outlaws smoking hot, 13-2 over the Redwoods midway through the second. Drew Carter, Paul Carcaterra, Ryan Boyle, Quint Kessenich with you. Our entire crew for one of the best weekends of the PLL season. every year here at Homewood Field. This is the first homecoming weekend for the Maryland Whipsnakes as the league unveils host cities this year.
Credit for our crew setting up and working on such a scalding hot and humid day here in Charm City.
Great call, Q, and what a finish by Rob Pennell. He came to the party. He showed up. He's got 2 goals in the first half.
You called him Mr. 5-5 earlier, Kark.
Yep.
I think what's so impressive is as he's aged, right, he doesn't have the same level of athleticism. Granted, he takes incredible care of his body, but now he's got more tricks. We saw the Canadian egg roll, kind of the backhander. Now he posts them up right along goal line extended. That's normally when you would see a question mark, a rocker. Now the ageless wonder throws the behind the back.
It's the tricks, it's the improv and awareness, and he's got like the man strength now, right? You're stronger when you're in your 30s, right? And you understand the game in terms of the flow, right? And you use those pieces to add to your technique. So maybe you took a step away from me, but I'm stronger in the mind.
Whose shot was that? What current college player?
Joey Spallina.
You think Rob Pennell takes that from Joey Spallina? That was a Joey Spallina shot. 100%.
Yeah, and Joey Spallina took it from Miles Thompson.
Yeah, and John Grant Jr. Like,
Miles
Thompson
Thompson did the post-up as well as anyone. The post-up BTB.
Good artist,
Albany,
good artist
2014.
borrow, great artist steal.
Bundy down the alley. By the way, you saw the 3 players have cracked 600. It's Pennell's offensive coordinator, John Grant Jr., and then co-founder and president of the league, Paul Rabel.
And Paul.
So plagiarism is legal here.
Paul Rabel did that as a midfielder.
O'Neal, way too much space off the corner of the bar, and then Law missed the rebound.
I think sometimes we have to put that in perspective. 600 points as a midfielder. He never played the attack position.
You guys got a good view of O'Neal. That's, to me, one of his favorite shooting spots from your side of the field. Left-handed.
That thing had a ton of heat on it.
I think he likes that, Quint, too, because it's away from the defensive stick pressure.
That shot.
When he does it on the left, a lot of times it's in front of defensive pressure. When he does it that side, it's away from defensive pressure.
The body's hitting the floor for Denver here.
Nice pressure, though, Denver. It's not going to score in this possession, but I like it. You know, Justin Anderson with his quickness, Bundy with his outside shooting. The parts are coming together for this Outlaw team. 48 minutes is a question for Timmy Sudan. Consistency.
Yeah, they put
48.
together a good half last week against Boston, and then Boston responded with some championship resolve.
They're bombarding this Redwoods defense.
Yes.
They have 31 shots already.
Redwoods
31.
have 15, still doubling them up late second quarter.
Hey, step up, girl, step up. Step up.
They already chased Jack Kelly. Chase Erlin in the net now for California. Here's Ryan Tierney, son of Seth, nephew of Bill. Bounces it across the crease. I guess that's called a shot, so backed up by Pennell. 2 goals for the veteran. As the short stick matchup, Pennell operating up top now. Smith switches onto him. He skips it outside the arc for Dennis. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. This will be a shot clock violation. Kark, you're pointing up here in the booth. What are you pointing to?
Yeah, I thought everyone kind of crashed to Romar Dennis. He had Chris Gray adjacent to him on that far side, who could have had a step down too, easily.
And I think the question coming in today was about the Outlaws defensively with Bernhardt out. I don't know if the Redwoods have necessarily tested them enough, but credit them in terms of reorganizing themselves with Weil in the lineup.
Whistle on the field and a timeout called by the Outlaws with just over 2 minutes left in the second. It's their use it or lose it timeout. And by the way, guys, one player who wasn't on that list, Luke Weirman, who's also a rookie and gets those guys the ball by winning faceoff.
Luke Weirman is the most prolific faceoff man in the University of Maryland history. He's played a critical role in championship weekends, winning for the Terps in 2022. he's above 50%. He's going toe-to-toe and beating guys like Trevor Baptiste.
Yeah.
Bundy for 2. Goes low and sticks it at 95.
This is downright frightening. This might become the most feared shooter in pro lacrosse. Watch his release points. You saw that ball right there. He shot low to low. He will get Trace Erlin later in this game low to high. He'll change his release point and his levels.
And you can see the frustration by Cohen. No real advantage had been gained. So credit the Outlaws in terms of what they drew up in that timeout. But there was a clear breakdown defensively there for Redwoods, because it wasn't like a slide in recovery happening around. It was just a simple little pick. You come all around the pick, some off-ball action, Bundy circling around the 2-point line who's just wide open. And that's like the only guy that shouldn't be wide open.
Graham Bundy Jr. is an avid golfer.
Hey, step up, Jake.
His swing mimics a golf shot. His hands are actually together. No one would ever think you could shoot a lacrosse ball with your hands together by the butt end of your stick. But the other key is his left arm is completely straight and locked on his chest, like a golfer driving.
That's a
that
great
straight
point,
left
Quint.
arm gives him length and
And
torque.
the whole thing is working in concert, right, with the hips turning and the timing being on point. Think about Pete Garno from Virginia a couple of years ago. He drove it like 300 yards. Pacino with the long pole, that's saved by Erlin.
And the thing about Graham Bundy Jr., what makes him such a feared shooter, is you saw that release. It's a swooping high to low, like a golf swing. He will change his levels. Mark my words, if he gets another step down, he's going high.
Q, we got to find out how far Graham Bundy drives the ball. I think it's 300 plus.
Hey, Jake.
He also knows where the 2-point line is.
He beat me to the punch, Paul. That's what I was going to bring up. He's much better.
290, he's telling me. 290 carry.
Tell him to join the 300
carry.
club.
He's
290 carry.
He's been much better.
290.
I'm in Utah right now with some altitude, so Utah has been helping my carry distance there, but...
You can't get 3?
Sorry?
300's close?
Yeah, it's in there. It depends on how I'm feeling, how the back's... if I have a game or not, how PT that week is going. Yeah, it feels good. I have a similar swing in both.
I know, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, so
I see that left elbow lock is beautiful.
Lacrosse or golf, I'm practicing for the Ivan.
I've been told you play a lot of golf.
I'm out there a good bit.
Coach Kevin Warren actually reported that to me.
Yeah, he was going to let me travel for the golf team, but I think he was all talk with that.
He just wanted him to stay happy.
Speaking of Georgetown, by the way, Owen McElroy makes another save. That's his 9th of the first half. And Denver takes a 15-3 lead into halftime. Welcome back to the PLL on ESPN, presented by Whirlpool.
I mean, look, there's not a lot going right for the Redwoods. They just need to chip away. You got TD Erlin to face off. You'd like to think that he could kind of get the momentum, at least the field tilting their way. But can you get going offensively? You got to have better urgency in the 32-second shot clock. Sometimes the Redwoods just too much casual passing the ball around.
At the end of the day, the biggest question for me with the Redwoods, what kind of energy do they play with? That's the reality. You're getting smoked right now. You gonna punch back?
Here's Garnsey, goes with a right hand and missed it wide. When you watched him walk out of the tunnel, RB, what'd you see?
And you see Denver flying out, ready to go. Redwoods kind of a casual stroll. And I need to see Chris Gray attack Weil. Weil, he comes in to replace Bernhardt. It's his first game this season. He hasn't had a lot of action over the last 2 years. He's doing a good job pressuring out, trying to deny Gray the ball, who comes up a little, limping a little bit after that possession. But Gray, that was a matchup you'd think that California would go at.
Chris Gray up in Boston had 3 unassisted goals. I thought he was really good that weekend. Outside of that, this season he's been quiet.
400-plus points in college. So far for Chris Gray, whether it's with the Atlas or Redwoods, Haven't really seen it translate to the PLL. Still young in his career, though. So is this guy, Brennan O'Neill. Down the alley, missed it with the left hand. Josh Sawada has the backup 14 to shoot.
The more that this offense matures in the pieces to the puzzle, that's why Eric Law inside is so critical. The more you're going to see O'Neill be able to breathe and be himself. Eric Law, you can't put a number on what he means to this team.
Sawada no-look skip to Anderson, a fresh shot clock after O'Neill's shot.
That shouldn't have been a reset.
I felt that at practice.
Shouldn't have been a reset.
Watching this Denver team.
What did you see, Q?
I saw Eric Law basically as a de facto offensive coordinator on the field. Now, Jeremy Boltis does a fine job in that role, but to have a guy on the field with all this youth around him in a centerpiece position, as 15 and White is, so many rookies. He's got Sawada, rookie to his left, O'Neill, rookies to his right. He looks up top, he sees rookie Bundy. Invaluable. I mean, I think he's worth 2 goals a game just as a leader.
Watch him, even when he doesn't have the ball, Quint, he's directing people with his hands. And to Ryan's point earlier, he had a short stick on him. He's not even pushing that matchup. He's like, all right, I'm going to beat this guy off ball and make sure everyone else is in the right spot.
And very positive with his teammates in practice and in games. Constantly giving positive feedback, elevating and lifting others.
Just the perfect addition to this attack line between the 2 rookies, O'Neill and Sawada, as the Redwoods turn it over again.
And just really to beat this point dead, it's not just even the rookies. Like Ferrara and Hanley are in their 2nd year, right?
Yep.
So like,
they're the old guys now.
Like they've got all these rookies, and then like, oh well, those 2 guys. Like, yeah, no, they've only played 1 year.
Well, you said earlier it's the rookies and then the old dogs. Where does Justin Anderson fit in? Carolina class of 21. I guess he's one of the older guys.
He was like 26 when he graduated because he went on a Mormon
I think
mission.
he was like 30 when he graduated.
Here's Sam Hanley. 3 goals in the first half, 2 of them with his left hand. Matched up with Nakai Montgomery here. From outside, Ferrara, iron unkind. Might have been a 2.
What I like about Anderson is his skill set's so different from O'Neill and from Handley. You got big, you got fast, and then you got Anderson, rugrat who can move.
That's the 3rd pipe Denver has hit today. Aside from that, everything's going pretty well. 15-3. 3.5 minutes into this third. After the dodge by Young, Merle pokes it loose. And can the Redwoods run in transition?
And that's what got them going out in San Diego when they beat Carolina. Fake, Connors, Merle.
Dennis from way outside. McElroy saw it all the way. That is 10 saves for Owen McElroy.
And this offense has big issues. They're last in scoring. They're tied for last in shooting percentage. They're last in assists. Those 3 categories tell you everything in terms of how the offense is all speaking the same language. Poor angled shots, you're not sharing the ball, and you're not scoring. They're also last in power play. So this California Redwoods offense is hurting.
Oh, Brennan O'Neill takes it all the way after the roll. 16-3. O'Neill's got 4 points.
He got tagged after this shot. Watch the replays and a little bit of pain.
Played the body here. We talk about Rob Pennell above goal line extended, feeling pressure and playing the body. O'Neill sweeping across for a couple goals, this time getting underneath. It's the hit after. And Conlon got the best of him in college. He is owning this matchup today.
And he's scored in a variety of manners. Here you see him go underneath. There's the hit by Dennis.
That's the 2nd time Conlon tried to go over his head. That's not working.
Smith had to take the face-off for Denver after Weirman's violation on the last one. So California wins the draw, down by 13. Here's Ryan Tierney, one of the best players ever at Hofstra, playing for his dad Seth, lost the ball. And here come the Outlaws again on the run.
It was just a heads-up double team there by Weil. Gray was outside the play, so Weil had a free double team as Tierney tried to go down the alley there.
At this point for Denver, guys, is it just keep doing what you're doing, or are you trying to kill clock now? Oh! That'll work! Whoa!
Why would you kill clock when you could see this? What did I tell you earlier? That he was going to shoot the ball where next? High, because he got Erlin low earlier. This is an absolute hammer of a shot. Same release point, different spot. Look at Bundy. As Quint mentioned, the hands together. The left arm is straight as can be. King Kong Bundy.
I mean, this just tanks that corner.
He's pin hunting when the pin is placed in the corner of the green.
Young man who grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. Not exactly a lacrosse hotbed, who made himself into an elite player. Remember the USA U20 team that went to Ireland a couple summers ago? He's captain of that group. He's got good energy and a certain vibe in practice. I think he's well-liked and respected by
Quint,
his
when you
teammates.
talk to him on the sideline, ask him what goes into his thought process when he changes the levels from outside.
O'Neal, that was deflected by Cohen. Maybe prevents the 19th goal of the day.
Almost too unselfish by Denver in transition there. But you
Hey,
love
Graham,
to see the ball movement.
Sometimes you shoot low, sometimes you shoot high, like a level change. Are you reading the goalie, or is it more about footwork and flow?
A little bit of both. If my feet are too high or too far away from me, it's hard to drop it low, so try to keep it high there with some high heat. But yeah, a fundamental high to low shot's very tough to say if I don't do it much. But I mean, the last 2-pointer I had was there, so maybe he's baiting me low and try to stick one high there.
There's a certain swooping motion that your shot has. Where does that come from?
Golf?
That's a golf, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
It's a high stick position.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
seems like come through middle tier.
Yeah, when you shoot a bunch, I mean, I've had shoulder, back stuff, and that's just what felt comfortable and what's keeping me pain-free. And it worked for me in college. I tried to keep that same level.
What's his handicap, Q?
What's your handicap?
4-4, I think.
Did you get to handle the Stanley Cup this spring with your friend playing for Florida?
Yeah, I did. I was very fortunate. The Kachuk family is a great family, friends of us, and Matthew. Super proud of him and all he's done, and the rest of the family there. So we were honored to be invited there and have some fun with the Stanley Cup.
Faster, his slap shot or your lacrosse shot?
Ooh, I'd like to see that square off there. I don't know. I like his slap
I'm going
shot.
King Kong
Looks pretty-
Bundy.
King Kong Bundy, repping St. Louis.
Maybe All-Star Weekend next year. Also, does every St.
4
Louis
handicap.
athlete know Matthew Kachuk, Jason Tatum?
Small
Friends with
town.
him? Yeah.
4 handicap. You should have said an 8. Won some money, right? Hey, Drew Carter, you want to go on the links?
Kark, I hate when you're right, by the way. You nailed that, what he was thinking, going with the different angle.
Pinnell's the other golfer in the discussion. Quite a good one
Go
here.
ask him what his handicap is. 18-3. Dennis for 2. That might have been deflected on the way to McElroy.
Great pass, huh? That skip pass? Crazy good.
Uh-oh. Save Erlin denying Manley. 105. Some serious gas. There's a ball movement. Oh, a kick save McElroy. Garnsey thought he had an easy one.
You say 105. Kark, there was a high school kid last week down at the Star in Dallas who shot
It's
114.
a defender who's coming to Johns Hopkins.
Crazy. High school
Yep.
kid shooting 114.
Not so. What'd you shoot, Boyle?
Not that.
Would you get a speeding ticket for it?
Depending on what road you were driving
He didn't
on.
have to shoot. He had eyes behind his head. One of the best passers I've ever seen.
What about you, Kark?
What did I shoot?
Yeah. A lot?
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's an understatement.
What was your high school stat
You
line?
guys are lining me up, right? That's what you're doing? You're lining me up?
Senior year. What was your stat line?
You're fine.
Don't worry about it.
93 and 1.
I had more than 1 assist.
Good, you're good.
90 and 4.
Thank you, Drew.
Here's Eric Law operating at X, tries to feed O'Neal. That goes over midfield.
Quint, going back to the first game, and you're pointed about a guy kind of stepping up. Westberg is trying to get a little chippy here. He's trying to infuse this team with a little life. I don't know if you saw that last possession, kind of running over a couple guys, a few whacks.
That's what I talked about coming out of half, right? Who's going down swinging?
It's Westberg right now.
Bertrand whistles at top shelf. Purely cosmetic at this point. Point differential is important, but if the Redwoods are going to come back, they need a miracle.
Kirst's second assist of the today. Him and Pinnell have really been the only bright spots offensively, if you could call it that. It's all Outlaws.
All right, under 3 minutes left in the third. It's 18-4. Denver over California. You see on one side of the field, the clouds are starting to look quite imposing. Quite imposing. And we are into the point of the game more than 5 minutes into the third quarter where if they do have to call it, it would be considered final. And I'd say that's fair. I'd say Denver has earned a win so far. Here's Berg running out of the box, takes the shot. McElroy has another save, 13 of them for the former Georgetown Hoya. Weil runs it down. He's already scored once today, his first goal since last year. Missed the shot, backed up by Eric Law. Stays here with the Outlaws.
Hey, extra, pick left.
RB, is this Denver team, when they're operating at their highest level, are they championship level good?
I wouldn't go there yet because last week in the second half against Boston, they didn't really show up. You know, when Bernhardt went down, you know, I said it like, this is going to be a shootout. Like, you're not going to be as strong defensively, and Boston put on the clamps. They need to build consistency quarter to quarter, game to game. They played one good half against Boston, who is a championship contender. You know, this to me is more of like, we're clearly better than a 2-5 team that's scratching and clawing just to be in the playoff picture.
They have some holes. Defensively, they're allowing the second most goals in the league. Save percentage is last, so goaltending's been a little up and down. Last in penalty kill. So I think there's some pieces there that you need to see consistently week after week.
Yeah, what they're showing today is just that middle class. Like, they are at the top, near the top of that middle class, right? We saw Maryland put the smackdown on Philadelphia, and now we're seeing the same thing with Denver and California.
Yeah, it's a good call. I think maybe Outlaws in a nutshell. They're winning 18-4 right now. They also lost a game 17-4 earlier in the season against the Atlas.
And that was against the Atlas, right?
So we are starting to see separation in the standings, and that's kind of what you expect as we get to the last month of the regular season. A couple of weeks left. Denver and Salt Lake City, then Boston for the quarters, Long Island for the semis, and Philly for the championship, which is September 15th. There's Nakai Montgomery along goal line extended. Uses the quick feet to get free and score.
That's his first of the season.
Yeah. He's back playing that two-way role. So he just uses the speed dodge. He gets Dalton Young trapped. And this is where I think he can really exploit those matchups.
I love that move.
I think when you look at him as a true offensive midfielder, having to go against the other team's top short stick versus
trapping someone.
Yes.
Yeah, trapping someone and then using your athleticism and your speed there. Nakai is so good in terms of changing speeds and making it difficult. Like, Dalton Young has no shot of matching the feet of Nakai Montgomery, especially when he's dodging from that spot. I think that's one of the harder places defensively to show support.
Berlin can't get the shot away before the third quarter ends. And it's 18-5 Denver as we go to the fourth quarter. This shot by Graham Bundy, Cart, top 5 shot you've seen all year?
Yes, that is a thing of beauty on a right-handed goalie. You got no shot seeing that smoke. Denver rolling.
Welcome back to the PLL on ESPN, presented by Whirlpool. Folks, the largest goal differential in PLL history is 18. That was Atlas over the Archers, 25-7 in the 2019 draft pick game.
Yeah.
So that's 18. We're at 13 right now with 12 minutes to play. Remember that one, RB?
I do.
Back in the early days.
That gave the Archers the rights to select Ament, I believe.
O'Neal with the swim. Got the left-hand freeze. Shots backed up. Just 2 to shoot.
Bright spot for the Redwoods. I think Pennell came to play, and T.D. Erlin obviously came to play. 16 for 20 at the stripe.
That's crazy.
Yes.
And the score is what it is right now.
And I like the juice that Berg's playing with, and the Kai showed something on that last possession. And the Kirst has got a couple assists. It's just where's the consistency across the board here, specifically offensively, right? I mean, I like, you're going against a Denver team that lost Bernhardt, and the Cannons just, I mean, Quint, we called that game, the second half, the Cannons took advantage of Denver defensively. But if you had told us, Quint, you know, after they really collapsed in that second half, that they're going to hold the Redwoods to 5 goals through 3 quarters, I don't know if you take that bet, right?
Without Bernhardt.
Right, exactly.
That's a great point when you're playing at Boston.
Outlaws foul number 34, 30-second technical. Hold.
It's on Tarafinko. McElroy, by the way, made his 16th save. He's allowed 5 goals, 76+% for McElroy.
Last week on the grass. I think all the goalies.
Who didn't strike?
I think all the goalies kind of. That's a one-off. That horn means lightning, gentlemen.
All right, so lightning in the area. This crew, led by Matt Palem, will make the call. At least 30 minutes. People have to exit the stadium.
What's that, brother?
And we'll be checking for some updates, and when we have them, we will share them with you. How's that radar looking, RB? What do you got? Is
checking this lightning
blue
app,
skies?
and it's everywhere.
All right, we'll give you updates as they become available. Make sure you're following the PLL on social media. That's your best bet where to find an update on this weather delay with under 10 minutes to play. It's Denver 18, California 5.